Annyeonghaseyo from Seoul, Korea. Hello and welcome to Tech Today. I'm your host Aayush Ailawadi and we're coming to you from Seoul at Samsung Galaxy Unpacked. And it's time to unpack. Of course, it's that time of the year again when Samsung reveals their ecosystem with two flagship devices which are in my hand right now. The Flip 5 and the Fold 5. Now, usually the headline grabber happens to be the Fold 5, and this one sort of, well, comes in and hides in between all the details. But let's give it its due importance this time because there's monumental changes with this device. Incremental here because the Fold was already a top dollar premium flagship. Yes, it had a great camera, the camera kept getting better. So there's incremental innovations. For example, better peak brightness. One major change is when you open and close the hinge, it's a lot smoother. These colors look nice as well. The camera has features from the S23 Ultra. That's because now it has a Snapdragon 8 Gen 2. So it comes with those capabilities which are in its flagship S23 Ultra, which will change come, well, February when the next S24 Ultra comes in. But for now, this can take on perhaps the iPhone 14 Pro Max from the Android world. And yes, guess what? It folds. It has a bunch of other features as well, of course, with Snapdragon 8 Gen 2. And yes, a better camera, the display is a little better, and the phone looks good. Honestly, a small iteration or a change from the previous Fold. But this time, they mean business with the Flip. Look, we were talking about it last week on Tech Today, how we've seen the evolution of flip phones in 2023. First came the Flip 4 with just a minimal notification, some selective widgets, and you didn't have that much functionality on the external cover display. But then came the Oppo Flip, which we got you live from the launch event in London. And after that came the Moto Razr 40 Ultra a couple of weeks ago, which has the biggest external display you've seen on a flip phone ever. Now, Samsung has really caught up, but it's not only about the size of the external display, it's also the functionality of this particular display. You can do a lot more things on it. You get a bunch of widgets as well, and it's a very smooth, intuitive UI. If you can actually use a flip device from this external cover display without even opening a flip device, it becomes a utilitarian, pragmatic option for you. So you're going to get the full review on Tech Today, but there's other devices launched as well. There is, of course, the S9 series, the tablet, very smooth 120Hz displays. I really think this is Samsung really taking the fight to Apple. They come with water and dust resistance, so does the S Pen. And we've had, well, an interesting first impression of this device, but again, we'll have to bring you a lot more once we have this not here in Korea, but back in the Tech Today studios in Mumbai. But flagship specs ready to take on the iPad Airs and the iPad Pros. Now when you talk about the watch, well, the Watch 6 and the Watch 6 Classic, if you look at these particular watches, and yes, I'm wearing an Apple Watch on this wrist, very premium. Now, I just want to be entirely sure about ECG functionality and AFib. Look, these are serious health and fitness features which Samsung watches have in different jurisdictions. But where will it come? Will it come to India? Well, we'll have to wait and see whether that sort of functionality comes to India as well. But very premium to look at, very premium to touch and feel. Honestly, this is an ecosystem which is worth exploring a lot more. And we've got you the first look here from Seoul, Korea. Obviously, you can tune in to the Tech Today website and our social media platforms for a whole lot more. But until then, I'm going to geek out here in Seoul and understand a little bit more about how Samsung's working on water resistance with these devices, how the durability of 200,000 folds, that would be maybe 100 folds a day, that would last you for 5 years theoretically. What does that mean in practice? All that and a lot more, but stay tuned to Tech Today.